Okay, so week 6, day 1. This is the peak week, I would say. A lot of volume, heavier weights this week. So make sure that you're putting a lot of effort into your rest and your recovery, all the little things that we need to be doing outside of the classes, outside of the program, to make sure that we can attack the program with all the energy that we have in order to get the most out of it. That also means being smart with how we come into the program, maybe not doing all the extra wads with the classes that are going on with Zoom and all the regular CFKaneohe things, and focusing in on getting the competition prep programming done for this week. There is a lot of volume for this week, a lot of conditioning work. There's 3 conditioning pieces today. It's a lot of time commitment. So for this one, it's absolutely going to be needed to be broken up into 2 different sessions. You need to be taking somewhere between 4 and 6 hours of separation between those two separate sessions, so that you're getting the most out of them. I would suggest that you go through everything that involves actual like Metcon type of stuff and all the lifting in the first session, and then solely do the sprint work for session 2. If that's not necessarily something that you can get done, maybe do strength 1 and 2, and then conditioning 2 for your session 1, or you can do session 1 can be strength 1, 2, and conditioning 1, and then conditioning 2 and conditioning 3 for your second session. But that puts the 2 sprint workouts together if you do that. So maybe it'd be better off for you if you do strength 1 and 2 and conditioning 2 as a sprint piece together, and then put the conditioning 1 and conditioning 3 together in session 2, so that you got some heavier movement, kind of an endurance kind of piece, and then the sprint work, rather than going sprint work for session 2 if you do conditioning 2 and 3. But today we are looking at push jerks and front squats being heavier today than what we've been doing, I would say, and also more reps than what we've been doing, especially with the front squat down here. But warm up, 5 minutes cardio of your choice. Everybody knows that I love my farmer's carries, suitcase carries, any kind of carry really, or sled drags. If you can somehow manage to do that, I'd do that for my cardio. Or you can run, you can bike, you can row, whatever it is that you need to do to get warmed up. And some squat mobility just to open up the hips. Make sure that our glutes are firing, that we're ready to move for the day, especially for these front squats down here. And then actually starting the timer for the first, we'll only take about 10 minutes here for the actual movement of the warm-up. 10, 8, and 6, Romanian deadlifts, pull-ups, and lateral bar over burpees, getting warmed up for everything that we're doing later on here in these conditioning pieces. So that'll be the first 10 minutes. The clock actually running, and we'll head into the push jerks. 9x2, somewhere between 70 and 80% of your 1 rep max. That is not, those are not hard numbers on that. You can go heavier than that if it's moving well, if you're able to rebound out of the bottom and push that weight easily, then I would encourage you to go heavier and work on moving that heavier weight overhead, especially in that cycling process for the push jerk. Take about 15 minutes of that, working through those weights, working through those 9 rounds of 2. Really want you to focus on the quick rebound, so coming from overhead, letting the barbell drive you into the bottom of that dip, and then exploding up overhead. Make sure that when you're doing this, that we're not jumping each time and landing. We've got our feet already set in the landing position. We come down and then back overhead and dip underneath of it as it's going overhead, rather than us having to jump out and move our feet back in every single rep. So that's something that we're looking to work on at a heavier weight, and the heavy weight is intended to simulate being at the end of a workout and you're under fatigue. So without fatiguing you super early in this workout, we're just going to load up heavy so that you have this opportunity to work on that rebound and driving up as if it were the last couple of reps on your last round, or mid-round if it's a long one. And then strength 2, front squats, take about 10 minutes on this. There's only 3 sets on here, so you'll take a couple of minutes of break in between each one. 8 reps at 75%, 8 reps at 80%, and then staying at 80%, we're going to do an AMRAP. So trying to get as many repetitions as possible at that 80% before we have to, put the barbell down. So high reps and a heavy weight, and you're already under fatigue from already having done these 2 sets of 8. So again, trying to condition you and build on that strength for like that last couple of reps in a WOD as we're trying to get up there on the podium against our competition. So about 10 minutes for that, so 25 minutes to 35 minutes on the clock. That'll be the front squats for strength 2. And then conditioning 1. We've seen this format over the past 5 weeks before this, 3 different AMRAPs at descending time domain. So AMRAP 9, 5, and 3 minutes. But what is different about this is that instead of doing the same thing over and over again, we're climbing the ladder. So this looks very much like one of the 2013 open WODs actually, with the clean and jerk paired with the muscle up, or for most of us pull-ups or ring rows. Not a heavy weight for the clean and jerk, but it will get heavy, especially when we get to the latter phases of this 5 minutes, and definitely when we're in this third one, because we have to cycle this barbell a lot of times. Not so much concerned about the pull-ups and the volumes that are going, or the volume that's going to come with that, as the volume that comes with our clean and jerk. So this is still a pacing exercise, using that first 3 minutes to figure out how these movements affect my body, but also having to realize that we're going to keep adding reps onto these as we go, so that impact on my body is going to change over time, and it's going to be exponentially worse, especially when we get into this 3-minute AMRAP later on. So how you pace it and how you adjust your pace as we go through this, because this is a much longer piece than what we've been doing. Actual working time of 17 minutes is a whole lot longer than what we have typically been doing. And it's quite possible that we'll see a 15-minute AMRAP, and this is to condition you for that when we get into that actual competition setting. So working on pace, but also working on breaking the movements up into sets, attacking this with a plan. Have your plan going into this. And maybe it's, so we're in intervals of 2 and 1 for the clean and jerk and the pull-up. So for my clean and jerk, maybe I'm looking at not even breaking it up until I get to that round of 10. And then I'm maybe looking at doing 8 and then 2. And then on the next one, I'm doing 10 and then 2. And then maybe not going any more than 10 reps at a time as I'm trying to progress through this. It's up to you how you break it up. My suggestion is never to be going more than 10 reps on the clean and jerk without breaking it up. You're probably going to have to break it up a whole lot more than that, especially the later we get into this. So then maybe it becomes 5 reps and then you're dropping it. Either way, as you're doing this, every single time we put the weight down, we put the barbell down, we have to reset and come back up. There's that temptation to stop and just stare at the barbell. So that's really going to be part of the conditioning here, is conditioning your mind to say, I got to get back into this, I got to move and keep moving this weight through this. So really your time to rest will be during these pull-ups or your ring rows, whatever it is that you have. I know nobody's really jumping up on a bar and butterflying or doing kipping pull-ups at home. So maybe this will be an opportunity for you to rest for the clean and jerks that are coming up. But have your plan beforehand, know how you want to attack this, know when you want to break up the reps, and stick to that plan, even when it hurts. I'll be conditioning 1. That'll take us from 35 minutes to 60 minutes on the clock, and then right into conditioning 2 at 60 minutes to 75 minutes. We got 7 1-minute AMRAPs, 15 deadlifts, and 21 box jump overs. This is a sprint, but it's also working on your ability to recover from this sprinting. So it's a 1-to-1 work to rest ratio. You'll work hard, and then you gotta bring your breathing rate back down. You gotta bring your heart rate back down. And that's gonna be on you to figure out how to control your breathing. You're probably not gonna be able to come straight out of this if you actually went at a very fast pace and just like start box breathing or something, or immediately be able to down regulate your heart rate. But that's something that we need to be working on as well, is getting control of that breathing and not crashing after that first minute of work. And that'll help us here with that. So sprint, recover, we're looking for a high pace and for you to be going unbroken at all of these. 15 deadlifts at this weight, that's absolutely doable, absolutely reasonable. 21 box jump overs, this is about keeping moving at a steady pace and chipping away at this. So you'll pick up where you left off each time, so you don't have to start over with the 15 deadlifts every single time that you start a new minute. You start back where you left off, and we're trying for one big score on the number of rounds and reps that you get on this. So more sprint work with some recovery in there, which is why I want you to try to deconflict that with conditioning 3 as a second session, because this is 45 minutes of work, but most of it is actually rest. So a ton of rest built in here, but that means that you're going hard. It doesn't have to be a run. It doesn't, you can row, you can bike if you want to. The intent here is to get 45 seconds of sprint work at something. I mean, if you have a ski erg, you can do 45 seconds of ski erg sprinting. Either way, it's 45 minutes moving or 45 seconds of moving as fast as possible, 3 minutes of rest. And then we're gonna do 30 seconds sprinting, moving as fast as possible, and then we'll go into 3.5 minutes of rest. And then 15 final seconds going as hard as possible, and then you get 4 minutes of rest before you start over again for your second round. So that's 4 rounds of that. Lots of sprint work, should be fast, should be really hard, and you should be absolutely gassed when you finish from all of that work. Yeah. I think that pretty much covers everything. Please let me know if you have any questions about week 6, about what we're going to be doing and how you should be prioritizing things. Definitely if you have limited time to get all of this done, there's no way that you're going to be able to put together a session, full session to get everything. Prioritize the front squats and prioritize conditioning 1. Those are the 2 most important pieces in here. And then the push jerks and conditioning 2. And lastly, conditioning 3. Yeah, so that's it. Keep plugging away. This is going to be a hard week. I know last week was a hard week as well, but this is the peak of the program, and then we'll start coasting downhill on week 7, and then really draw back for week 8 as preparation for a theoretical competition now, since it's not going to be happening anytime soon, since we're in quarantine. Thanks guys, keep plugging away, and let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatnot.